Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. So I have petered out just a little bit with the video every day thing, but I have continued to vlog every day. So there's that. And I'm trying to be consistent with my Friday reads this month. So here I am for the second Friday in a row. So diving right in because I have places to go and people to see. So here we go. I finished 3 books so far this month, and I am poised to finish the last book in this round of the BookTube prize judging for nonfiction, and yeah, wow, is that a difficult decision. Anyway, so the books I finished this week are Trace by Laurette Savoy. This is Memory, History, Race, and the American Landscape. So she is a geologist and a university professor. She is of African American and Native American descent. So she writes from the intersection of her racial heritage and heritages and science and society and, you know, the history of it all. And really, really interesting. It started off slowly. She's more of a kind of a textbook style writer, borrowing, you know, quotes and phrases from other sources and things. But as you progress into the book, as she gets started on her own narrative and, you know, weaving that into what she's trying to say, it really gets beautiful. And the last 3 or 4 chapters were just excellent when she tells her mother's story and then her father's story. So yes, highly recommend that if you are on the lookout for some good nature writing that is very relevant to the times we're in. So Trace by Laurette Savoy. And then I read When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. Oh man, I listened to this on audio. It was an excellent audiobook. Very short. I think it was 5.5 hours, and I listened to it at 1.5, I think, and it was 4 hours and 18 minutes. Well worth my time. This book. Yeah. This, if you are unaware, I think most people know, I feel like I'm the last one reading it, but this is a doctor. He's in his last year of an extensive residency in neurology and is diagnosed with terminal cancer. So you get the first chapter section, you get his, you know, backstory, how he started off as a, you know, kind of more of a literature major and biology on the side, but his dad and brothers were doctors, and so he ended up having that calling midway through his educational career and veered off to the, you know, doctor pathway. Meeting his wife, and then the diagnosis, and yeah. So what I want to say is this book was surprisingly uplifting. I found it just really incredibly beautiful. So not much else to say about that. I think I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but it was just gorgeous. So, and then I uncharacteristically, like, I would have done this in my, you know, younger years, but, you know, with the 2 fur babies, I tend to go to bed at a reasonable hour because they wake me up consistently at the same hour. But, you know, they've gotten to where they're letting me sleep in until 7 here lately. So anyway, I stayed up till 1:30 finishing The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the 3rd in the trilogy. It's a fantasy series kind of a, you know, genie, Middle Eastern, Egyptian spin to it. And the characters you just like 100% fall in love with. There are places, there's a lot of it that's kind of difficult to 100% remember and understand and know what's going on all the time. But I kind of feel like that's intentional because later in the story you figure it out. So I think, you know, you're figuring it out with the characters. But yeah, this was great. Such a wild ride. This one, like the first in the trilogy, was a little slow, but really ramped up at the end. And then these second two, you know, all the way through, I was totally invested. And I just love the way the characters were developed in these stories. They weren't, this was, even though it's YA-ish, it's not tropey like YA fantasy tends to be. So these are definitely just really great for adults. The protagonists are young teenagers when the book starts, and, you know, get older throughout the trilogy. I hear she's intended them to be adult books. I don't know. I did read another article in which she talked about she is Muslim herself. She converted to Muslim when she married, or before she married, I'm not sure. But I'm definitely rambling at this point. But I read an article where she works with her youth group in the mosque, and she wanted to write something that they would see themselves in. So I think that's, you know, a worthy calling. But anyway, they're so good. They're just so good. Anyway, I hope she writes like so many more fantasy series. This is like one that kind of like Terry Brooks and Shannara that I fell in love with when I was that age, and then he's had spin-offs and spin-offs of that series. I would love for her to spin this series off into oblivion because I just loved it that much. So anyway, I'm gonna stop now because boy was that a like ramble there at the end. Anyway, I think I finished my summer school readathon, like my main subjects, so science, social studies, math, history, and extra exploratory classes. I still have my extra credit to do, so my Common Core and research, I gotta work on that this week. So yeah, there you go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.